Hi, we're Team 8 and we will be presenting our Air France business case analysis. The problem statement in this case is that growing numbers of US consumers are purchasing their airline tickets online. Air France sees this as an opportunity to increase its US market share through SEO optimization and targeted campaigns. A little context about the case: international travel has been growing immensely. E-commerce holds a significant share of the travel industry. Focusrite had estimated that by 2006, over half of US travelers were booking their flights online. And by 2006, SEM was the leading online advertiser method, with US advertisers spending about $9.4 billion in this channel.
We would like to identify which were the main factors that were more likely to impact on having a positive net revenue. And for that, we built a logistic regression model and we considered three main insights. First, do the keyword groups that repeated the most have an actual impact on the net revenue? Do people who search for US top cities actually have an impact on net revenue? Does the US market, people who use search engines in the US, have a relevant influence? After running our model with an alpha of 0.01, we may say that the more significant variables were average cost per click, conversion rate, cost per transaction, and also keywords with the highest impressions that were Paris and France. If we compare the coefficients, the impact of cost per transaction is the highest in terms of revenue. On the other side, the average cost per click has the highest negative impact on the model. And we can say that for every dollar increase in the average cost per click, the odds of having a positive revenue will decrease by 66.9%. Also, for every unit of percentage increase on the conversion rate, the odds of having a positive revenue will increase enormously. With every dollar increase in the cost per transaction, the odds of having a positive revenue will increase minimally. And last but not least, if people look for flights to Paris or France, the odds of having a positive revenue will increase by 4.7%. This conclusion gave us some business insights that we will going to present next.
Thank you. We're interested in publishers which have a low cost per click, a high booking probability, and that we haven't grown to full potential as of yet. And looking at this graph, we believe that Kayak would be a good vector for further investment because of its very high booking probability and its very low cost. But so would MSN Global and MSN US right here be. However, we would still recommend to maintain the investments in Google US simply because of the sheer net revenue that this brings to us. Similarly, we might say the same for publishers such as Yahoo in the US. And this concludes the publisher analysis. But looking at campaigns in terms of revenue versus cost, here we're seeing that if one of our campaigns bears the Air France logo, that's something that leads it to be the most productive. However, there are also geo-targeted campaigns that we should take notice of, such as the one here for Chicago, which showed that when we market to a specific demographic or a specific city in the US, we tend to achieve higher market shares. In terms of keywords, here we see something that we were expecting, which is that people want Paris, people want cheap, people want flights, and they want to go to France. But this nonetheless means that if we were to run a campaign without these keywords, we would significantly lose business. In terms of how these keywords cluster, we see that outside of the US, Air France has managed to actually secure some market share for cities that are outside of France. Here we can see this is materialized by the interest in Florence, a city in Italy, famous for its art and culture. So we should perhaps also maybe think about this. Which cities is Air France very, very popular with? And then in terms of the US itself, we see here that in terms of the keywords, the top 10 includes at least 8 which mention the word sail, and they are all major transport hubs or city hubs in the US. This means that we may make the hypothesis that the American demographic is really interested in sales, and that's when we will make money selling tickets, during sales. In terms of recommendations, I'll pass on to Tanya.
Thank you. So we have 3 recommendations. The first one is bid on the keywords that yield the highest impression and clicks for the Air France to increase the ranking of the SEM campaigns. And the second one is combine the Air France branded campaigns. We hide the deserved domestic and international destinations to increase the ROA. And the last one is renew the invest in the selected publishers and invest in publishers with the profile similar to Kayak. Thank you.